Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Sylvia D'Silva. Well, I'm back from the hospital and I'm recovering, so I'm finally back with a video. So today's video I'm going to show you different kinds of watercolor paper. So the first one I'm using is rough grain watercolor paper. So note that every watercolor paper in this video is by Brustro and it is 100% cotton. So you could also buy, if you're a beginner, you could buy 25% cotton and try it out. So I'm gonna try three different kinds: rough grain, cold pressed and hot pressed. So when it comes to rough grain, all you should know is it has a very toothy texture, it's very rough, and it is very good if you're using very thick amounts of paint. Suppose you're trying to paint acrylic on paper, so this is the best paper to go for it. And if you're looking for just watercolor, then if you're a person who uses too much water while painting, then this is the best option for you. So try it out and you'll see. The best way is to try out each paper and find out for yourself which suits you the best. You will also notice that I have done a lot of layering in each of these paintings, and you might want to get used to that, because even I used to think it was just one layer while working in watercolors, but no, it is just like any other painting. If you're an acrylic artist or if you're just a beginner, you should still know that just one layer of paint is not enough. You have to create depth with several layers of paint, and that is when your painting will pop. It'll look much nicer than if you had just used one layer of paints. In the previous video, I also mentioned where I bought these papers, the assorted set. You can go ahead and check out the previous video, so you can find it easily on Amazon. I also have a link there, and you could also find it in an art supply store. It's up to you. So try out the assorted set. That's how you will know which one you want to use. Moving on to the next, we have cold pressed watercolor paper, and this is something I prefer quite often to compared to any of the other textures. I like the cold pressed watercolor paper. I like that it has a medium amount of tooth, and it also can take a lot of water. The main reason it takes in a lot of water, all three papers take a lot of water, but it is only because it is 300 GSM. You also get a a heavier weight paper, but this is good enough. You don't have to go for something heavier. But I do like the cold pressed one for watercolors. It is my personal favorite, and it just looks like, you know, a medium grain canvas. So it is really nice. Again, here I am creating a lot of layers. Also know that the paints I'm using is Camel Artists watercolors. I have used the watercolor tubes which I have set up in a palette. I do have a video earlier of how to set up a watercolor palette using the tubes, and you can go ahead and check that out. I'll have the link in the description below. You should also remember that when you're working in watercolors, what the watercolor looks like when it's wet is not the same. It won't look the same when it dries. You will notice that here. I used brighter colors, and then once it dries it looks a little dull. It also depends on what kind of watercolor you're using, the quality of the watercolors that you're using. So, but you know, give it a try. Have a sample, what do you call it, a color chart, so that you know what the color looks like once it dries, so you won't have a problem figuring it out while you're painting. So always refer to that color chart of yours that you have created with your watercolors, and that way you will know which paint to use, how dark it needs to be, and so on. I will also in the near future be making videos about the essentials that you require for watercolor painting. I have made such a video for acrylics, but I haven't made one for watercolors. So I will be making one about the different kinds, the different things you need to create a watercolor painting. So do watch out for that one, probably next week. So moving right on to hot pressed watercolor paper. So this paper is very smooth. It's got a very smooth surface, barely any tooth at all, and this is something you would want to consider using if you want your painting to look very smooth, have a very smooth finish and not have any grain at all. But well, that is not my personal preference. I usually use hot pressed watercolor paper for pencil work, something like watercolor pencils or pastel pencils, or you could even use graphite or colored pencil. It is best for colored pencil work, and well, that is my personal preference, but a lot of people do like using hot pressed watercolor paper for watercolor paintings, and you can try it out. It is great, there is no doubt about it. Give it a try and see which one you prefer. Do let me know in the comments below which one, if you have tried them, which one you prefer, and let me know why. And if you have any questions about watercolor painting or the paper, since this video is more about papers, you can mention it in the comments below and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Good luck with your painting, and I would be very glad to look at your watercolor works if you are interested in showing them to me. So you can just mail it at sylviadecilvaart@gmail.com. I also have an Etsy shop now, so if you're interested in buying prints or paintings, you can go ahead and check that out. I'll have link in the description below. I have a lot of deals going on for and a lot of Diwali discounts, and you can buy gifts for your friends or family if you're interested, or you can just go there and admire my painting. Well, thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to subscribe if you like my videos. Give it a thumbs up, and you can tap on the bell icon if you want updates of videos every time I upload one. I will be uploading one video every week or more. So do come back and check out more videos. Thank you and have a great day.